Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Uploading Podcast, which is the flagship podcast of shitty names. You'll see why shortly. Today, I'm joined not by our usual lovely little Merrick Juniper, but today we are joined by somebody else. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Why, hello. I am Sod. I'm mostly acting as a furry. Oh, that's my phone. Furry VTuber right now, streaming games on YouTube and Twitch under the channel names Sod's Passion Gaming. I also did some ILS stuff on a channel called Sod Passion Projects, just reviews and thoughts about media and stuff. That's gone a bit on the back burner because of PC issues, but I haven't abandoned it. It's just like technical limitations right now. You can find all sorts of links to me all over the place on Twitter and the like. Yeah, I got an Instagram. But yeah, primarily the streaming one for now. Sod Passion Gaming, YouTube and Twitch. Be wonderful to see you over there.
Yeah,
hope you're all having a wonderful day.
Get the links in the podcast description. They're all in there, unless I forget, which I don't think I will.
Don't worry, there's a link tree. It's only the one. You can push the rest off the link tree.
Linktree.e/uploading podcast. That's what it is. By the way, we also have a Twitter and Instagram now, which is @uploadingpod. So you can also get dumb little clips and other things there. So while you're in the description for Sod's link, just give our Twitter accounts a follow as well. And I'm saying our as in me and Marek normally, not me and the guests. They don't have access to this. I don't know why I said this. That was probably clear and it's now a bit weird, but okay.
Well, it's memorable at the very least.
@uploading pod. And also, I'm thinking of adding a new segment, which is like your tech stories. So we also have uploadingpod@gmail.com. So if you have some funny story how you threw your phone on the ground while getting out of a bus or whatever, write an email.
Well, I
see how well that works.
On that note, I do have like one funny story along those lines that would be interesting. See, many years ago, when smartphones were just starting to become a thing, I'm late, Gen Z. My father needed to... Yeah, my father needed to borrow my phone to make a call and forgot to give it back to me and needed to go somewhere in a hurry after said call. He was like literally at his car waiting to head on off after he finished the call. He hung up, put his phone on the top of the car, and he drove off with the phone on top of the car. We never found it. We never found it. Like, we were living in like a kind of like private estate, kind of renting out some like old properties to make some income off of them. So this long ass drive to get to the house, and we searched up and down, walked it for a good hour or two, but like nothing. That thing vanished into the ether, and it was a brand new touchscreen phone, like back in 2011. So, oof.
Well, that's not good. Don't put things on top of your car. That's like a lesson that everybody has to learn on their own, and I haven't learned that yet. So, I'm scared what's going to happen.
I mean, there's always the smarter play of just not getting a car and just like demanding better, like, civil infrastructure, public transit. Just demand that of your politicians. Far better than a car. Anywho.
Well, that actually reminds me. Weirdly, that reminds me because I got a new phone like 2 months ago. A bit over 2 months ago. A Xiaomi 11T Pro. And I really like it. Mm-hmm. This is my quick review for this. And the reason why I got reminded by this is I like to use Google Maps, as you know. The one well, you know Google Maps, I hope, all of you. Unless you are iPhone users and you use Apple Maps, which nobody does anyways.
Well, I don't use Apple Maps, so I am an iPhone user.
See, that's
They got
so far
got
every
me with
Apple
the
user I
music.
talk to, they don't even know Apple really has a maps thing.
Well, that's the thing is, you like always Google a place, and then like, okay, how do I get to that place? And it's already like integrated in.
Yeah, that's
Like if they want them to use the maps more, they should recognize that and say, "Hey, we can lead you to this in a pop-up," and that you click on that. Just like having it as a separate thing that you then go to separately and then retype said address you've already looked up is like too many steps. Anyhow, you were doing an impromptu review of your
So
phone.
I really like this. It's a really great looking device, at least the white version that I have. I don't think the black one looks good because that looks really plasticky. The blue one also looks really cool, kind of blue and purplish.
Ooh.
And I like the speakers and the camera and the 120 hertz screen. All of that is great, but it has one flaw, I think. Maybe it's something wrong with me using it, but I think the antennas on it are really shit. Specifically, Wi-Fi and the GPS antennas, because where I could get like Wi-Fi before in this flat, I can now get literally nothing. Like I'll be watching YouTube and walking around, and it will just stop.
Oof.
And I don't know why. And then, like when I'm sitting, not here, but somewhere else where people sometimes use their phones while taking a shit.
One. Well, I was going to be a bit more tactful than that, but yes, avoiding your vowels, shitting your brains out through your ass, just rocketing up into the sky.
That hopefully doesn't happen. But when I put my phone to the right of me so I can listen to the video, it stops, it doesn't work. But when I put it on the left of me, like on some, I put it down somewhere. And then it works. And I don't know why. There's like 30 centimeter difference. And it's just the difference between night and day for Wi-Fi, apparently, which wasn't the case before. And with GPS, what I like to do, I have a podcast in my ears, and then I want to go somewhere where I haven't been before. So I put the address into Google Maps. Americans, this is going to surprise you. Then I walk. Usually, I use my legs to walk towards that place.
Like half American here. I only lived there for like the first 10 years of my life. But even then, it's like, I cannot imagine anything like more urban being walkable, you know? The cities are just not built that way. Nor the suburbs. They're like built in these horrendous spiraling patterns that if you live on the inside of, there's no quick walk to anything that's even nearby. You have to take the full circle. There's no way out otherwise. Oof.
Yeah, so I have a podcast in my ears. I have my phone usually not turned off, but like standby mode when you lock it. And I will just listen to what the Google Maps voice is going to say. Like you're just walking around and it's going to pause the podcast and say, oh, turn right in 5 meters. And then I do that, which I like. That's fine for me. I don't want to carry my phone and look at it while I'm walking around. The problem now is, though, when I put it in the pocket, within 10 seconds, it just says GPS signal lost. And I don't know why. I really don't like that. I have to get it out of the pocket and then it's fine. But if it's upside down in the pocket, it doesn't know where it is. It has no clue.
What? That seems like a design flaw.
That is pretty shit, yeah. That's actually not good. I don't know if I need to like maybe flip it around, like with the screen away from me. I think I have it with the screen facing towards me normally in the pocket. Maybe that's the problem. I don't think it is, though.
Even if it is, it shouldn't be a problem.
That's not good,
you know?
Yeah.
Like, so. I feel like that's like, I like this, but here's this like horrendous flaw that means you shouldn't buy this.
Issue.
It's like, yeah, you already have it, I guess, and you enjoy it for all other things. For the Wi-Fi, I'd recommend like a range extender. That can always help. I had to get one of those for like
My
the
old phone
upstairs.
works though. I have a OnePlus 6 from like 2018, and that has Wi-Fi everywhere. Yeah, even I live on the third floor / fourth floor, depending how you count it. Ground floor, first, second, and third. With my OnePlus 6, I can even stand downstairs. I don't even know why I'm pointing. You can't see me. Usually we have the cameras turned on, but right now we don't because this is not Merrick. This is someone I don't know yet. You can't see me. That's a joke.
And you can't see me either.
Yeah, I can get Wi-Fi literally on the street. Pretty shit Wi-Fi, but it works. It's like 1 out of 3 swirly Wi-Fi bars. But with this thing, I can't even go to the fucking toilet.
Yeah, I think that's another big mark against this. How long have you had this phone? I might take it back for a refund.
Well, the good thing is that I decided to do an experiment and just rent this phone for 6 months because I was like, I want to have new phones, so let's try renting it. So I actually pay €30 a month right now for
Never trust those contracts because it's like a month right now, but like at the 6 or 12 month mark, it always like shoots up in price.
Actually, at least from what I've read, this contract doesn't, and this company has good reviews.
Ooh, nice.
All that they do is just rent out things, rent out devices, and you can buy them from them when you have X amount of months and stuff like that. I think that's a good concept. I don't have money to buy a phone that costs like €700, even though that's horrifyingly cheap nowadays.
Yeah, especially if you just like wait like 12 months or so and get like the last model instead of like the brand spanking new one. Yeah, they have fallen to that price. Like I keep track of that myself because like I'm using this very old iPhone 6 with a dying battery that I've already replaced 2 times, and I just don't want to do it a third time because that'll be like 150 I've put into this phone then. And I really just want to get one of those purple iPhone 12s. And I'm just waiting. I'm just waiting for the price to drop low enough and we'd have enough money.
The thing for me was my OnePlus phone is from 2018 and the battery became so shit that in the morning when I leave, I get on the bus for 40 minutes and then I'm at my school where I do my apprenticeship. And it will go from 90% down to sometimes 40 in 40 minutes.
No, mine's way worse than that right now. I have like this battery pack with me, for recharging your phone on the go. And I just have to keep it plugged in because otherwise it will die in 40 minutes,
Okay. Well, I didn't want to have this shit battery anymore, being afraid of, I can't even do anything because if I walk too slowly, the battery is going to drain.
Yeah.
So, I wanted a new phone, but actually I really want to have one of those folding phones, but I'm waiting for one of like an actually good folding phone, not the kind of beta versions that we have now. So that's why I was like, let's try renting this thing. I don't want to actually buy a new phone. If I buy it, I want to keep it for years. So, but if the device that I actually want isn't out yet, I need something different. An intermediary step. And so far, I mostly like it, aside from the fucking GPS.
And the Wi-Fi.
Yeah. I can deal with the
Wi-Fi. 2 critical issues.
Yeah. Screen is great though, 120 hertz. I never thought I needed that on a phone, but that's actually really awesome.
I primarily watch like YouTube and Netflix on the phone, so like I really want to get the iPhone 12 because of that. And sneaky little plug, I set myself up a Throon account, one of those wishlist services. And now I just wait for some random charitable act. Because for some reason, that seems far more stable outcome for me than anything else.
What did you
Hurrah!
set up? What? I didn't even understand that acoustically.
Throne. It is this service that sets itself up where people can apply for it and get in and make up a wish list, and the company securely houses your shipping address and whatnot, and you can it's a bit more better set up for America right now than it is the UK or Ireland, where the only thing it really works well with is Amazon here in this area. But you can just plug in products from those sites and have them on your wish list, and people can order them for you and send them to you. But also, people can recommend things to gift you as well. Fairly interesting.
It looks pretty interesting.
Yeah, that was
one critique that I have is, what the hell is wrong with your marketing? Why is it called... Do you know how generic the name Throne is? That's the most generic name. You people need to... Oh, God. I mean, what names are left? No names are left anymore, but come up with something good. Not with the most generic word.
I don't know. It's just... Mostly for me it works, because what else is really associated with Throne, you know? That's still relevant as a service. The only thing that possibly comes to mind is Game of Thrones, and that's been off the air for several years now.
But every company is called Throne. When you type in Throne Service...
Oh, that's probably...
Throne Auto Service, Throne Recruitment Service...
yeah, a lot of the smaller ones. That is true.
Throne Enterprises. Everything is called Throne. That's my main critique. Not that it's a bad name, but it's a name that everybody else has. But
I think it's Linktree. They do something with the URL, which makes it stand out a bit more, if I remember correctly. Or maybe I'm just post hoc justifying that based on faulty memory. I'm gonna check that right now. Oh yeah, the website they put join Throne as a promotion thing.
Oh, there it is.
That's the clever thing I remembered. I'm quite proud of myself for derailing this podcast to talking about things I desperately need. Someone throw some charity my way. But let's get on to the topics here of these weird-looking stories in the tech world.
Tech and gaming world.
Feels a bit like synonyms, don't they? You can't exactly have gaming without tech.
You can have board games, just text games, games that kids play, like hide and seek.
How do you make the cardboard without technology, though?
Oh, well, okay. But you don't need technology to play hide and seek when you're 3. You just walk away.
That's not gaming. That's
that
those poor children. Give them a copy of Dark Souls. Those children need to start learning how to be true gamers. They need to learn at a young age.
Okay, so the first, stop it now. The first topic that we have is more, well, not really a serious one. It's just a fun one, which I thought was really hilarious, which is Sega shows off the world's fastest PC, able to reach 100 kilometers an hour.
The CD-PC, created in collaboration with GeForce and Masami Hirosaki, was built to celebrate the Steam Winter Sale, which features several titles from Sega. It's also being given away as a prize. Entering the competition involves blah blah blah, blah blah blah. The prize will be announced at the end of the Steam sale, which finishes on January 5th. Oh, it's the 7th. Sadly, it's only open to residents of Japan. Oh,
I would have.
That's some of the worst.
I would have done everything to get this.
Honestly, one of the worst things to these companies, because it just ties disappointment to the brand. It's some places where you live, Ireland is funny about it. So, granted, they can't get it, but if you're gonna do something like this, bite the cost of the shipping and just because it preserves the marketing, you know? Bite the cost on shipping it from Japan to America, Canada, or whatnot. So that way there isn't this excitement immediately followed up by that disappointment of you can't enter. because that's the feeling people are going to remember for that.
Well, this might also be a licensing kind of issue because it also includes 23 Steam codes for Sega games. Maybe some of those are only in Japan. We don't know the reason why, but they've only put it out in Japan.
I mean, that doesn't make a lot of sense, because if it's Sega games, they would be the owner of them. And if it's like really just an issue with like one game or something, you can just put the caveat of like, if you're living within this region and win the prize, we cannot give you so-and-so title. Because like I'd far rather lose out on like 2 games and still have a shot of winning this ridiculous PC than, just not have that shot. But hey, that's just me.
Yeah, so the specs are pretty good. We've got a 12900K Core i9, pretty good processor, and a Radeon 6100 XT, and 32 gigabytes of RAM.
That is pretty good. That's pretty. Also,
an awesome machine.
2 terabytes of solid state drive. That is,
pretty good.
That is good. Like
that's the thing that we can't imagine.
Good like honestly, that's the reason I'd save up like a target goal of $5,000 for a really good PC that I can just coast on for like the next 10 years, as opposed to paying like $1,000 for like a basic PC that can not really do much of what I need it to for like video editing and streaming, and then have to replace that within 2 to 3 years, Because there would be a lot of old stuff to keep the price down.
I mean, you can upgrade things over time. You don't need a new CPU every year.
That is true, but I have very shaky hands.
Wow, yeah.
And like one prong out of place and you've destroyed
That's true.
Something.
Very fragile pieces. If people look at as you know, you will have the sauces, the ketchup and mustard, and that's condiments, that's not sauce. You have all of that in the description as well. It kind of, this PC kind of looks like an RC car, which it basically is, but they've just literally stuck a square box on top of it. Which I think is pretty cool. That's pretty funny. It's literally just a box on wheels.
I gotta see that.
And you could drive it around. You could literally drive it around.
Oh my god, this is just a PC on a go-kart.
It's literally, yeah. Basically it is. That's actually hilarious, yeah. I'm going to put this on the fucking thumbnail for this, on the cover art for this episode. Just literally the box and wheels. There's a Sega sticker on it. Yeah. What does it say? It says Unstoppable 4 Generations, and it has Sonic on the side, yeah. It actually does have Sonic on it already. I didn't mistake. My memory is still good.
I've given up on my memory a long time ago. I'm way too scatterbrained to recall details accurately.
Well, yeah, that's why I'm happy right now that I've noticed this, that I'm actually correct.
It's a wonderful feeling.
Well, so, yeah. If any of you were in Japan, I don't think we have Japanese listeners, but if you are in Japan and you entered this and you've won this, send an email. I want to do like tests on it, benchmarks and stuff. Imagine having, how much power does it have? You couldn't put a chair on it, right? No. Imagine having like a chair and a screen on it, and you just sit there playing like a racing game or something while actually going 100 kilometers.
I don't know, because like I don't think it's a very miniaturized go-kart specifically designed for this. I don't know if it would be big enough for that. It would be a whole other project to retrofit that. But saying that, I want some crazy mad lad YouTuber with a lot of money who's able to do this. should do that now. Do it now. Make it a video. It'll be fascinating.
Yeah, sounds like something Linus Tech Tips would do. They've done insane PCs before, but I don't think they've done a PC that moves and that you can sit on before. Do it.
There's
Everybody
always a first.
Do clips and tweet this at Linus Tech on Twitter and annoy them. Okay.
Find out his most lurid secrets and threaten him with them. Leave no stone unturned.
What?
Take every tactic you can. This has to exist in the world, no matter the means. that was a joke.
Yes,
that is comedy.
Don't threaten people.
I didn't say threaten. I said blackmail.
Yeah, but okay, don't blackmail people unless it's for an insane PC setup.
Well, isn't that what we're asking for here?
Well, basically it is, yeah.
You've just said don't do this thing except for this exact situation.
Uploading podcast does not endorse blackmailing of any kind.
That you know of.
Okay, the next topic is moving on. 77 terabytes of research data lost because of a HP Enterprises software update. How depressing has it does it have to be when you do this shit on your job? Kyoto University has lost a massive amount of 77 terabytes of critical research data from its supercomputer. Okay.
Because Hewlett Packard Enterprise, HPE, issued a software update that caused the script to malfunction and delete backup data. Jesus. As a result, days of work are gone and a significant part of the wiped out data is lost forever. HPE pushed an update that caused the script to delete log files that are more than 10 days old to malfunction. However, instead of deleting old log files stored along with the backups in a high-capacity storage system, it wiped out all files from the backup instead, erasing 77 terabytes of critical research data. HPE admitted that the software update caused the problem and took 100% of the responsibility. The bare minimum in that situation.
Yeah.
This is amazing that gets a highlight. Like, doing the bare minimum of admitting you fucked up and it caused massive issues is highlighted. Like, it should be assumed that in this situation that they take full responsibility and just accept the fact that the update caused it. But instead we have to clarify that as the fact. What a world we live in.
Mistakes like this should not happen. Don't do mistakes like this. And this is not even like a bad mistake. Like, I can imagine just like, I don't know, one asterisk missing or something, one inverted comma missing from some code, and then they push it out and it doesn't check if something is a log file because it's just not coded properly because of like a few tiny little things that are wrong in the code, and then you have massive consequences.
I know. I think that's like a huge consequence of just like crunch culture in various industries. Instead of like moving a deadline and giving people the time they need to work on something, they will just pick a date and you have to meet it no matter what. And then it's just crunch after crunch after crunch with 12-hour plus days. People not getting enough sleep, barely getting any time home, sometimes sleeping in the office. You get these mistakes, you know? Like, why did the update have to come out when it did, you know? Why not later to make sure this didn't happen?
Or maybe have more checks built in, more tests of updates before you push them out. We see this with Windows updates all the time, or we used to see it at least. We don't know with Windows 11 yet, where you would just install an update and your PC would just be bricked for no apparent reason other than the update. I've had this happen to myself like multiple times.
Ooh.
I've had it happen so much that I actively switched to fucking Linux, and I haven't used Windows as a main thing for like 3 months.
Wow.
And I really like it.
I have no idea what that could be, because I'm like using this very old laptop on Windows 10, and like I have never had that issue.
I've had this many times where some old driver would not work with an update anymore, and it would not boot anymore. It would just like cycle and crash into a blue screen. And then we'd have to do all kinds of insane things to get it up and running again. I eventually got used to like creating system restore points very often, so you can have a restore point for anything. You can make a mistake as a person installing a bad program. That also happens. But I mainly had those restore points for shitty Windows updates breaking things. Still, when I still have Windows on a secondary drive here, when I boot into that, it opens up so many windows. I have like Elgato software and stuff installed for my Stream Deck. It just doesn't work anymore. It just says, oh look, this INI file is not compatible. This thing is broken now. Microsoft Office doesn't launch anymore, and I don't know why. And all of that happens after like one update, and I don't even do things. I use fucking Minecraft and some word processor, and then that's basically it. What I do with the PC nowadays.
I have to wonder if that's just like some combination of the parts you're using, because like that is truly baffling.
Maybe you were just really lucky so far, because Microsoft, they obviously don't roll out updates for every single PC at the same time. So maybe I was just in early groups often, getting crap updates. But yeah, I'm using Linux now. I don't think I'm gonna go back unless I want to do some very specific thing. And this is great. This is awesome. Literally, I've only restarted for updates once so far on Linux. One single time. But it was like an actually big update. For anything else, it just updates itself while it's running, and it's fine. It's great. It's good. It doesn't crash or do anything. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with this.
That's good to hear. Yeah. What was I thinking? I'm just so baffled by that. Like, it's hard for me to comprehend. Like, I'm just trying to puzzle out in my head, because like the only difference is like I'm on a laptop here and you're using a full proper PC, which has a wider array of parts. Whereas like everything I got is like from the one company or specifically bought out by said company. But honestly, I don't know. Though to be fair, with like things getting outdated, like I think my graphics driver just doesn't update anymore, and it has created some issues in the past.
Windows itself is not a great experience. There's so much crap added into Windows, and it's all basically based on Windows NT from like 1998.
Goodness
essentially.
Gracious.
So
let's pull back the structure here. Moving on to TikTok is coming to a waiting room near you. TikTok has already conquered our phones and TVs at home. TVs? Okay. But is next target to ensure you really can't escape the cute pet videos, impressive feats, and oddly satisfying clips. According to a report from TechCrunch, the popular short-form video platform has partnered with Atmosphere, a startup that drums up the content to ambiently play in the background while you're eating at a restaurant, lounging at a hotel, or sitting in a waiting room. Atmosphere already delivers content to places like Taco Bell, Texas Roadhouse, Burger King, and even Minikik, letting clients choose from a number of channels that suits different environments. And now, TikTok will get a channel dedicated to curated videos from the platform. I imagine I mispronounced that one restaurant horrendously.
Is that German? That looks like a German thing. Looks like Meineke. I don't know if that is though. What is that?
I have no idea. Well, there's always a copy and look up. Let's see, the web. Meineke Car Care Center is a franchise-based international automotive chain. More than... No, I don't think that would be right.
I don't find anything good because I'm in Germany and this is just literally a normal German name. So it just comes up with people who are called Meineke. Oh, look, Peter Meineke. Oh, wow. Okay. Let's not talk about that. Let's just ignore that one weird name.
I have no idea. Baffling. Anyhow.
Well, do you have TikTok? Do you use it?
I gotta upload more of my clips there, but I'm not really big for it because like I have ADHD and it's just not very appealing to me. Like I prefer YouTube just to watch like some longer form content and just get lost in it. Okay. The constant shuffling from topic to topic to topic on TikTok is honestly quite infuriating, especially like sometimes it's intimate personal stuff, sometimes it's funny comedy skits, sometimes it's music stuff, you know? Maybe if there's a way for me to more specifically search based on the kind of stuff, do I want something that's like playing music in the background, something that's quiet, something that's, you know, more comedy, maybe then I enjoy it, but that constant shuffling between all of them,
I mean,
it's rather irritating to me.
The max length is 3 minutes, so you can't get background noise kind of things there. So, yeah.
I mean, it's just like the problem is like how short it is, you know, like 30 seconds onto something else that's radically different. A minute, something else again. It just really gets irritating, all that shifting between different musics. Very interesting.
For most people, that's why they really like it, including for me, because you get that fucking dopamine hit every 30 seconds because you see something really cool. I have TikTok and I really like using it nowadays, which is interesting because I'm going to tell this, so I'm just going to do this. In 18, I think, I installed it and just fucked around because it was, at that point, TikTok was still really new and shit. And then they were still doing the shitty dancing ads with like girls dancing around to cringe music.
I mean, they're still doing that from what I understand.
Doing that, but that's still on there, but there's way cooler things on there now. But back then it was pretty bad. So I had this account and I was just uploading dumb shit, like the same thing all over again and again, but just shot new again, like a new recording of the same thing, which was basically just me panning the camera towards like a plastic bottle and then hitting the plastic bottle. Completely dumb, pretty stupid. And then, actually, I need to fucking look this up. At one point, I came up with a different idea, which was pretty funny, I think, which was, it has, I'm going to tell you now, it has 184,000 plays.
Well, TikTok famous over here.
17,000 likes. I had a little, like a golf ball or something in the hand, and then a bigger ball. And then I went, how to prove the world is flat. This is round ball. When you put another round thing on the round ball, it fall down. But when you put ball on the floor, it does not roll away. This is flat. I think that's I still think this is probably like the best comedic thing I've done in my life. So.
Oh no, you peaked on TikTok. No,
that's not a bad thing. It
is with only one video.
That's true.
Oh.
I don't know why it was this one. I really don't know. Hello, it is me, Silas, interrupting you again. Sorry. This time, though, I am just asking you to, well, if you enjoyed this podcast, please tell all of your friends who you think might also like listening to us talk about random tech and gaming things. Because the number one way how people find out about podcasts, about new podcasts, is just through word of mouth. That's literally true. So you'd do us a great favor, and maybe you'd do your friends a favor too, showing them how good and awesome our podcast is. Thank you.
Yes, let us get back on. How many of the topics are we through? Back from our break.
I think
we still have
5.
We have 2 more. 2 more to go. You said you forgot to add one for the Xbox dev mode.
Well, you just click on the link and then, or you can just sum it up, because this I actually remember still.
Yeah, I remember hearing it being removed. We're moving on to the next topic. Xbox dev mode accounts were disabled by mistake, Microsoft suggests.
So, yes, what they have done, or what people have done for years now at this point, I think, is people would buy dev mode licenses for $20, so they can install custom software on their Xboxes, on the PC. And people would use that for emulators, play some GameCube and Wii and other cool things like that on their Xbox consoles, having way more
really
use for
useful.
it. Yeah, that's pretty cool. But there was a purge, if you will, where they've basically killed off every single account that hasn't published anything, according to this clause that they have. Where where is it? If you don't publish anything on the Microsoft Store within 90 days, your account gets deleted. Your dev account.
What?
And
But what about indie devs who can only publish once a year at best? I
don't know what that means. I mean, I think what they mean with that is you can't have an account and then never publish anything. I think if you've published at least one thing before, you're going to be fine. But actually, on another note, they now say that Microsoft has no plans to remove or disable developer mode on Xbox consoles, and that all the accounts were inadvertently deactivated as part of maintenance.
Baffling.
There is a tweet somewhere. Where is it?
But you had to pay for that. You had to pay for that account.
As part of regularly scheduled maintenance to clean up inactive accounts, a number of Partner Center accounts used to enable developer mode on Xbox One and Xbox Series consoles were inadvertently deactivated. If your account was accidentally deactivated and you would like to restore access sooner, feel free to contact some email address. We apologize for the inconvenience and we are working to remedy this as quickly as possible. I don't know if, this is a good thing. They also say we've disabled the Windows and Xbox enrollment in your Microsoft Partner Center account because it did not have an active presence on the store. So that's their point. For reference, see the developer code of contact, which say that an active presence in the store must be maintained. I don't think this is that good, because if you give people the option to basically unlock your console for $20, that's a good thing. That's very cool. That's why you never hear about, Xbox getting hacked, like you hear with Sony consoles all the time.
Yeah, because people who want this thing will figure out a way around any safeguards you have.
Yes.
It's not permanently closing off it. It's a time buying measure. And a lot of people just don't want to invest the time into figuring out how to do this themselves, and don't have the money to pay somebody else to do it for PlayStation, which is how they stay safe for the most part. But people who are dedicated enough still do jailbreak these things, either by paying someone or learning how to. Just offering off this.
I actually did this with my Wii U years ago.
Ooh.
So I can play GameCube games in good quality because my PC was too shit for emulation.
Finally, a use for the Wii U. I mean, there was
Mario
bound to
Kart
be one
8
further.
and GameCube. But that was pretty good. I think
hasn't Mario Kart 8 been overtaken on the Switch? Like, I think it's sold most units out of any Switch game. So. And way more than the Wii U.
And it's better on the Switch anyways, because higher resolution.
Yeah. So. No, one of... completely unrelated to this, we've kind of spiraled off. I do own the Switch. I'm so afraid to buy stuff now with the Switch. Because, like, even indie stuff, it's like... But I have nowhere to go because of, like, the last 2 years, you know? Global pandemic. I've been doing a good job of staying inside, so that portability thing doesn't appeal to me. And its graphical capabilities are really, really bad, especially in comparison to 2 next-gen consoles, which, despite everything else going on in my life, I have been very fortunate to get my hands on one of each. Like, an unbelievable luck of stroke on the PS5
really?
console. Yeah, it was a digital edition. It practically fell into my lap, you know, with having the money at the time. And someone else wanting to get the disc version and thus make some money off the digital-only one with the son basically was autistic and really liked putting the disc into the system to play games. So the digital only just was a no-go. So they sold it on to me so they could then buy off the the disc version.
That is very interesting.
Yeah, it's good stroke of fortune for me. And luckily it was like the Sony one, which is basically graphically the same thing. It can still do the same feat as the disc version, whereas like the Xbox is really like, you know, that the Xbox Series Series S is basically like an Xbox One S, but just with some newer stuff in it and no disc tray. But like, it's way cheaper, so
it's fine.
It's
fine if you don't have a 4K TV and don't want 4K at 120 frames a second.
Yeah, if you don't want that or the ray tracing, it's fine because like I play my games through capture cards, so they always come out 1080p. But the way the light bounces off of things and the shadows and the way the water looks in some games, even on like the older ones, because it still retroactively applies in a lot of games, it is beautiful. It just like ups the visual quality, even if it is only at 1080p. So, yes.
Well, yeah, but the Xbox Series S is what you get for your 10-year-old kid with Xbox Game Pass, and then they have everything they could ever want. So that's the point of that. So, yeah, but I don't want any of those consoles because I like PC. Because of exactly bullshit like this, companies giving you the option, unlock this thing for $20 and then put your own software on it, put whatever you want on it, but then, oh no, now we've disabled it, now we've banned your account, you can't use your console anymore because we've banned your hardware.
Well, I don't think they've been locked out of the console themselves. I think just the dev account.
Well, yeah, but they can do that.
That is true. That is true.
I don't think Microsoft can really do anything if my Windows installation gets banned, maybe they can do something like that. I can just reinstall Windows or put something else on it, like Pop OS, what I do now. You can't stop me. Nobody can. I like that. Owning things, being in control of it, which is not what you are with the consoles. Plus, I think the PS5 looks really stupid. But that's just a personal opinion of me.
Yeah, like I'm looking at it right now. Not great. It's like the black and white combo. It had to be like the other way around if that was going to work. The center bit being the white part and the sides being black. That would have looked better. But as it is now, I just want one of those like novelty plate things that, God, there was this huge thing. I remember being covered by a YouTuber called Young Yeah about these plates that could slot into like where it is on the PS5 now. Those white plates are removable. You can put on other ones. Sony has since then released some of their own in various colors, but there was this other company as well that figured out how to make some that would attach, and Sony went after them and sued them over it, despite the ones they made being completely their own thing.
The phone skin making people.
Yeah.
What were they called?
I don't know, but like they even make even a second wave of them that were even more distinct. That still looked very good. But Sony
D-brand.
Maybe.
D-brand got sued, I think. D-brand PS5.
Yes, also, I'd like to commend you for that segue. Very good work. Getting us back on topic.
Well, no.
Just take the compliment.
How does that, what do you mean?
We were kind of...
It's not our topic.
Oh, no, sorry, that was like, I put us off topic again. But originally going on about the Switch and various console hardwares, you circled back on to this issue very nicely.
And actually, D-brand pulls its PS5 plates from sale after Sony threatens legal action.
Yeah.
Why would you do this if you're Sony? Nobody can really stop me if I want to put my PC in a different case.
Yeah, and no one can really stop you at home. They're just trying to stop the people who would sell these things to you. Because legally... there's no way for them to stop you from doing it, but they can stop, or at least try to stop someone from selling them. Even if, like, the lawsuit doesn't go through, even if it's non-enforceable, it's a very big scare tactic, Because Sony would have a lot more than Displate, would have a lot more resources to drag out a legal battle than Displate.
Displate make, like, poster things of metal. D-brand.
D-brand, my bad.
Different company. But okay.
I don't know. I get those mixed up for some reason.
I don't like consoles nowadays. Partly because of the design. I just wouldn't want to have a PS5 in my room. I really liked, I'm going to say liked, the designs of the Xbox One X. I thought that was really cool.
Wait, One X or Series X? This next
One
gen?
X, One X. I also still like how the Series X looks because it's literally just a PC at that point.
Kinda, yeah. It's like a very cuboid PC,
like a Corsair one or something. Those exist. Literally, that form factor of PCs exists. Literally, that exact kind of PC exists for years.
Well, that is the thing, though. It's like if you don't do anything really complicated, otherwise that you need a PC for, and you're just into gaming. Consoles are pretty much like a cheaper PC that is dedicated entirely to gaming, sold at cost or at a slight loss to you. So that way, they make the money back to the storefront. Sorry.
I also get that some people don't want to fuck around with menus and settings and files and folders and updates and drivers and all of those things. If you don't like that, good, don't get a PC then. But I really like those things. Heck, I fucking run Linux now for months, which is basically PC on hard mode, because to get half the things working, you need to look on forums and use tons of commands and virtualization layers and shit to get some random game going, if it works at all. I think this is fun to me, because it feels like you've really achieved something when you actually get things going. So I like that.
Plus, it kind of feels like you actually are putting... Say again?
Plus a few things are just better on Linux than on Windows, but that's not the point. The point is some people just don't want to have a PC, which is fine. Get a console then. But to me, the actual real consoles have been kind of dead for a long time, because we used to have consoles like the GameCube, the Xbox 360, the PS3, the N64, where they had real special hardware specifically made for games with special features and special processors and chips. But now, if you look at the consoles now, it's just a normal AMD chip and a normal AMD CPU and normal AMD GPU, basically. and that's it. It's literally a PC, but locked down.
Yeah.
And I don't really like that. It's good because it's cheaper, yes. Shit because it's locked down and you can only buy your games from the Microsoft Store or whatever the PlayStation thing is called.
That is true. That is true. Like, the pros and cons depending on what specifically you're looking for. Like, again, like I said, if you have more things you want to do or like just like being engaging things technically like you do, then the PC definitely is better. Whereas, like, especially like you have no interest in any of that, then a console is clearly the right option because you just want to play the games. You play the games on these; they look real pretty. What else was I thinking? I'm kind of in between. I do want to get like a better computer for like streaming, edit videos and the like, and playing PC only games because that is another thing. Some things only come to Steam and maybe the Epic Store. We'll see how that goes in the future. It's a relatively new thing, real black horse
or something. Other platforms.
Oh yeah, that is new. The DM3 one. I can't remember off the top of my head. The one that's owned by the people who did The Witcher and Cyberpunk.
I think that's GOG.
Maybe.
Is it?
Can't remember off the top of my head.
Yes, it is. GOG is by CD Projekt, yeah.
But I am in between because I do like. I grew up on consoles. I have a real fun time playing on them. I also like having all the processing power of the gaming console focused on making the game work, and I can just set up a capture card and let my PC worries solely about streaming it out and, managing all the various background things I have going on, like Twitter and the like, and chat box and so on and so forth. I'd be in the middle there. Also, je ne sais quoi, various sales across all the platforms. If you don't really care what you're playing on per se, having the option to buy something on sale either on the Switch or the Xbox or the PlayStation can save you a lot of money in the long run if you like to play a lot of games. Because they all have different things on sale at different times. Apologies.
Yeah, but Steam has the best sales.
I mean, it has the best sales like 3 times a year, And
also,
but like,
I'm not going to advocate for this, but you can get your hands on games for free. So if you actually want to try something out, and then buy it later if you think, oh, this is actually pretty good. I'm not advocating piracy, but you can do that. There's no way you're really going to do that on the console without getting banned from the network or something. If you
jailbreaking the system.
Jailbreak it.
But,
they're going to know when you jailbreak it, probably, at some point.
That is true.
And I have a Switch. I really like it, but I only use it for Nintendo games, which, by the way, you can also play on your PC because there's emulators, same as probably for PlayStation and Xboxes. So you get literally everything.
Well, let us circle on to the next topic then. Wi-Fi goes back to crappy names. Wi-Fi 6 releases 2 features apply across all of the standards.
No, you've already read it wrong. This is called Wi-Fi 6 Release 2.
Release 2. Features.
The text here, you don't even really need to read it. It just says, it has new technologies, 2.45 and 6 gigahertz frequencies.
6 gigahertz? We haven't even got to 5 gigahertz standard yet. And already trying to move on to 6?
I mean, 5 gigas has been around for a long time. I think that's AC, the Wi-Fi AC standard.
Oh, yeah. I'm talking about 5G. I might be getting...
No, not 5G. That's not the same thing, yeah.
My apologies.
Yeah. That's a 5th generation mobile network. Actually, that's what that means, yeah.
That some people have very weird beliefs about. That's all I say.
Not true. Yeah, no. Not really true.
Wi-Fi 6 release 2.
So before well, a few years ago, they've revolutionized the naming industry of everything by naming the Wi-Fi technologies after numbers, like Wi-Fi 1, 2, 3, 4, up to 6,
What?
which is good.
Okay.
Before that, it had all shitty names like 802.11b, 802.11g,
Okay.
N and AC and AX and dumb shit like that. So they did it good with the new names, just numbering it.
Okay.
After Wi-Fi 6, they've called a new revision Wi-Fi 6E, which I think was already dumb. But now, the newest version is Wi-Fi 6 Release 2. Which is just, how the fuck are you this bad at names? Like, why? Just, you have numbers. Just
why
count.
is it not 7? Why is it not 7? Why is it Release 2?
Why is it 6E
different
and why is
enough?
it Release 2?
What is not different enough about it to not be 7 in either case?
I thought Wi-Fi were the only sane people up until that point. I can still kind of excuse Wi-Fi 6E as just like an extension or something. But
yeah, a half step.
Yeah, it's pretty shitty Release 2. Let's look at what USB call their names though, because that's bullshit. Okay. If you look at names for USB, you're going to see that they are way worse. I want to make a good comparison to this. So you have USB 1.1. Okay, that's good. USB 2.0. That's good. And then you have, actually this isn't even the correct chart because this doesn't show the renamings because they renamed old standards for no reason.
I guess because like at a certain point those old names just became so outdated and hard to remember. Like if you're not using them so frequently.
No, this was the newest things. Wait, fuck.
Never mind. I thought they were just very old ones.
No.
Yeah, I'm getting a little twisted here from this one line. It's especially disheartening that Wi-Fi 6 Release 2 is meant to enhance both Wi-Fi 6 and 6E, making it even more difficult to grasp. And it's like, what? Why is it Release 2? Why are you not just stating, like, these two things are going to get better? Is Wi-Fi 6 Release 2 its own thing? Or is it just a buff to the other two? What?
And then what you're going to see on your device when you buy a new router or a new phone or whatever, what is it going to say? Is it just going to say Wi-Fi 6? Or Release 2? Or Wi-Fi 6E? That's what the HDMI people are doing. HDMI, they've renamed HDMI 2.0 to 2.1, and then they've renamed 2.1 to 2.1a.
Goodness
so nobody
gracious.
Fucking knows what things are anyways. And now I've actually found what I mean with the USB thing. I've found this cool little graph. USB 1.0, good, very good. And after that, they had USB 1.1, just a slight revision. And then USB 2.0, way faster. That's good. And then USB 3, that's where the shit begins. I'm telling you now, you will lose your mind.
I've already lost my mind talking about the various Wi-Fi's because I'm dyslexic.
USB 3.0.
Okay.
Good, okay. Renamed that to USB 3.1 Gen 1. Released a new version. Released another version that they then called USB 3.2 Gen 2, while at the same time renaming the old one USB 3.2 Gen 1. Then they had another version, a new revision, that was just called USB 3.2, and then they've also renamed that to USB 3.2 Gen 2X2.
What in the name of...
I have to send this graphic to you. This is also insane. On a technical level, it makes sense calling it 2x2 because it just uses double the lanes. But this is not how you do marketing. You don't go back change USB 3.0 to 3.1 Gen 1 and then to 3.2 Gen 1 for no fucking reason? How is that not confusing?
What the?
I've sent you in the Twitter DMs a look at it.
I see that. Again, I'm dyslexic. This is starting to swirl about a little bit. It's like
for no fucking reason.
You clearly set out a clear path of progression with like 3.0, 3.1, 3.2. Why are you changing it at this stage in the game? How is that any clearer to understand?
I don't even get how the old 3.0 becomes 3.1 Gen 1 and then 3.2 Gen 1 for literally no reason. Just call it. I'll give you a big tip here, USB guys. 3.0, then 3.1, and then 3.2, and then that's it.
I mean, that's exactly what they were doing, but then they figured, this isn't convoluted enough. This isn't going to test people with a master's degree. We need to make this as obtuse as the path forward in a Dark Souls game. And tie that back into what I'm playing. Another tangent. This is nonsense. Utter nonsense.
Yeah. So, but you have to agree that the USB people still way worse than just calling it the Release 2. That's still better calling it Wi-Fi 6 Release 2. At least they don't call it Wi-Fi 6E.2X2 or some bullshit like that.
I don't know, like the Release 2, it's a lot of syllables, you know?
Pretty dumb.
You'll easily get them mixed up either way.
Yes.
All of it is just very dumb instead of like establishing some kind of clear progression with the various decimal points and then jumping on to like 7 at some point with the Wi-Fi. Like
they had names before that were good, just use numbers. I don't get this. At least the USB people never figured it out before. They never had any clue how to actually name things. But the fucking HDMI people did. How do you regress in naming your products?
I feel like it in part stems from like the progression. Because you look at like USB 2 and like the amount it can like transfer, like 480 megabytes per second. Whereas like USB 3, 5 gigabytes per second, which is a huge shot up. But then comparatively, like the USB, 3.1? Or whatever it's referred to as now, is only like 10 gigabytes, doubling. It's like they've only managed to do that, was from like 2 to 3 was a huge leap of like 10 times faster. And they haven't really been able to do that, so this is why they made so many convoluted naming conventions, because they don't have this bloody big number to slap onto the box saying, hey, this is incredibly faster than like the one you're using now.
I have another idea though. Why can't they just call this USB 3 5 gigabit, USB 3 10 gigabit, and USB 3 20 gigabit?
That's the number you're looking for. It even has it like under here, super speed. Oh my god, it also has like super speed plus, and super speed plus.
It gets worse the more that you look. Yeah, don't do it. Don't investigate more. Oh god.
Just have the relevant information in the name.
I also think how it's funny how USB 2 also had high speed on the fucking thing, on the logo, and now it's super speed plus, and super speed plus. To me, high is more than super.
Yeah.
But, okay.
God, it is
just call it normal things. Just either number it or put the fucking gigabit transfer speed there.
God, if like whoever makes USB or Sega buys each other out, you know there's eventually going to be like some kind of like Sonic crossover of like Sonic Speed USB. And then Sonic Speed Plus, and then Sonic Speed Plus, and then Sonic Speed Plus, and Eggman Speed at some point.
they are apparently going to fix it with USB 4, where it's just going to be one standard, so far at least. One connector and one standard and one speed.
I think that's because
set of features that's going to just be...
I think that's because of like regulations passed by like the EU, where like everything kind of has to use like USB Type C, just so there's less electronic waste of all these various different types of charges. Because that does lead to like a lot of waste. It's like, okay, a bunch of iPhone chargers, but then you move over to like a Samsung phone or something. Those aren't transferable.
I mean, every single phone except for iPhones use USB-C already anyway, so
that's true. Like iPhones was the last hangout. iPhone was the last hangout.
I saw a TikTok video about that, actually. I saw some Apple user who was like, well, USB-C is shit, and here's why. And then he took a flathead screwdriver, stuck it in the iPhone Lightning port, and like forcefully wiggled it around. And then he was like, well, see, it still charges. He did the same thing with like a USB-C, I think a Samsung or something. Yeah. Stuck it in there, wiggled it around with, I don't know, the force of some insane person, because that's what you have to be, insane to stick a fucking screwdriver in your port.
Yeah.
And then he was like, well, USB-C can't handle being destroyed with a screwdriver, so Lightning is better. And everybody in the comments was like, are you insane?
Yes.
That's not a good thing.
A Samsung phone or USB-C phone can't handle being filled to the brim by my meaty screwdriver. That's why Apple's superior. It's nonsense.
Oof. Oh my god, I found the USB 4 spec.
No.
This is pretty good. I've actually found it. It's actually a good thing.
I hope so.
They have two versions of the USB 4 name, apparently so far, which is USB 4 20 gigabit and USB 4 40 gigabit, and the logo literally just says certified USB 20 and certified USB 40. That's actually good. And then there's also an icon which is a little battery with 20 and 40 in it, I guess for the watt amount of like a charging port, because you can also charge through USB-C, your laptop and stuff. That's pretty good. They've finally come around to it.
Yeah, you know what I would love to know is like the release dates for all of these. Because I imagine there's quite a decent gap between USB 2 and USB 3. And all these increments really just like probably hurt the quality of like just being able to say, hey, we've gone from 5 gigabytes to like 40 gigabytes per second.
It's bits. Gigabit.
My bad. Gigabit.
Okay. They're not the same thing. Okay, there we go. USB. Oh my god. That. Okay, USB 0.8. Apparently that was a first one in 1994.
Ooh.
And then 0.9 in 1995, April.
Ow.
And then USB 0.99 from August 1995.
You're almost there. You're almost the one. You're almost there. We add in another decimal place.
The dumbest one is coming up now, which is USB 1.0-RC from November 1995. And then 1.0, 1.1, 2.0, 3, 3.1, 3.2. How would you even come up with a name that starts at 0.8 for a release?
I have no idea.
Or maybe that was just an internal name. I don't know. Nobody knows.
It's baffling. What also kind of gets me is like, why isn't like the 40 gigabytes per second the base USB 4? Like, why is there a USB 4 that's 20 gigabytes per second? You have like the higher end USB 3s for that. I don't get why you're releasing this one. It's like,
probably for compatibility. Actually, I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah, but it's like they'll be the same shape, wouldn't they? It's not like they're going to radically.
Oh, actually, I know one reason why. I literally listened to a podcast a few months ago with somebody who does USB things who works for the USB Implementers Forum, I think. And one of the reasons was at 40 gigabits, you just need insane accuracy. Like if you have a laptop which has 40 gigabit ports on both sides, you already need a special booster chip to boost the signal just to get it across the laptop, because that's how insane and fast 40 gigabit is.
Ooh.
That's probably a technical reason, actually. 40 billion bits a second. Yeah, you're not going to have some shitty crap cable from 20 years ago handle that. Also, on another note, there used to be a competitor called FireWire a long time ago. Doesn't exist anymore. Hasn't existed for like 20 years. But I've just
got into gambling debt with the mafia. They didn't survive.
Yes, but their names. I'm just gonna say it. They had the best names already. They had FireWire 200. They can do 200 megabits a second. FireWire 400 for 400 megabits a second. FireWire 800 for 800 a second.
Well, that's actually pretty useful.
And FireWire 1600 for 1600 megabits a second. I think that was the last release.
Well,
that is already way better than fucking the USB names.
I mean, it is pretty straightforward. You know what you're getting with there. Though I think that last one would have been like gigabytes per second. Bits. Bytes,
yeah,
bits, bytes.
1.5 gigabits, yeah, but 1600. 1.573 gigabits, apparently, to be exact, but yeah, 1600.
Oh, neat.
Which came out in 2007. I think this was a mainly used by Apple, this connector, which is probably why it's dead now. So, there also was 3200, which is 3.2 gigabit. That's the best naming scheme. That's the best. Being consistent. Even the dumbest fuck can see, this is 400, this other thing is 800. 800 is probably better.
Yeah, probably higher. Like, if they know how to count correctly.
What are you going to do if, I don't know, some old grandma or something is somewhere sitting around trying to find the correct USB stick or whatever, and they're sitting there, look, this says 3.2 Gen 2, but what I have says 3.0 because it's just an older laptop. How the fuck are they gonna know? Nobody will know.
Yeah.
If it works or not.
Good lord, that is just... I don't know. I feel like we're in the worst timeline, you know? People make jokes about it all the time, but generally, so many things, big and small, just seem to be designed specifically to make people miserable sometimes. I don't know. What are we here for?
Forum, they actually just want to torture people. That's not true.
Yeah, just to suffer.
That's a funny thought, mate.
These bizarre naming conventions.
Oh, fuck, and then with 100 different ports for USB before? Yeah, they do want us to suffer. And then when you use like an older incompatible cable that's like not good enough, and you don't even know, why can't this connect to my SSD? Because it's just too old, but it has literally the same connector on it. God damn it. Well,
life is chaos. Life is suffering.
I think that's all of our topics, right? Yes, it is.
I believe so, unless there's anything else you want to talk about real quick. Anything else that comes to mind?
Not really. I'm just happy that this podcast is called Uploading Podcast, because that's at least funny and not just dumb. Way better than Wi-Fi 6 Release 2. So,
yeah. You always feel better about yourself, about the things you create, by critiquing worse things. It really calms your ego.
If you write a shit test or something at school, shitty exam, I don't know, your streaming career doesn't take off, or your first test program that you've coded doesn't work, just Google USB 3 names and you'll feel instantly better about yourself.
There's always worse things out there that make you feel better. You're worried about being a bad writer, just find a hated fanfic and give that a read, and you'll feel pretty good about yourself as a writer. Like,
okay.
What's it? You feel bad about yourself as an animator, just watch some crappy anime that has horrendous animation in it. A real old cartoon. Dingo Pictures. Go watch them. If you're worried about your career as an animator, go find their stuff and feel safe in the knowledge you're not as bad as them.
That's mostly true. Don't let shit get to your head, though. That's also important.
Yeah. Also some exercise. That really helps, like, mellow out your moods. That was a huge help for me, just getting some regular exercise in. Even if it's not intense, and you don't see, like, massive gains or anything like that from it, like massive slimmings or muscle gains, it still just balances you out in your head a tremendous amount.
Okay.
Well, I'm glad we've moved on to mental health PSA. Let's wrap this up before we spiral even further.
Yeah, we've gone over massively.
Massively.
Which is not a bad thing. I say now until I've edited this.
Yes.
Leave a rating on your favorite podcast app if it supports that. Subscribe to our feed here.
Yes.
And the social media things that I've mentioned in the beginning.
Yes,
and also check out Sod.
Yes. Follow what's it? This podcast is Twitter and did you say Instagram?
Yeah, at Uploading Pod. Yeah.
Yes. And you can find me on Twitter under What's It Sod Passion Projects, Twitch and YouTube, where I'm most active at present, Sod Passion Gaming, and hopefully, if all things work out, there should be my link tree in the description of this. We can find all my various hidey holes across the internet and come give me a follow and say hi. That would be ever so dearly appreciated. And I'd like to give you a firm thanks for your time for listening to all this. I hope the edit was successful.
Yeah. I very much hope so too. Thank you. Have a good rest of your day. Video unavailable. What happened now? Why can't I click on it anymore? Did they just remove the video now? No. Is it loading? Video currently unavailable. Can you see it? Have they just literally deleted it now?
I think they might have.
Why? What the hell?
I don't know.
Okay, you can't click on it then.
Well, I opened it up, but it's like, no good.
It says video unavailable. I just watched it. I looked at it like, what? It's still on my profile. Okay, I can click on it on my profile.
Maybe the link just, you missed a letter with it or something. And it's like
Let's
sending
try
you...
copying it again. This video is unavailable. No. Okay. What? Wait.
Deleted. Recorded on podcast.
That's actually hilarious if that was true.